everybody. I'm Dean Linke along with my broadcast partner, Keith Tabatsink. Welcome to the Men's College Soccer Review. And we've got Southern Conference in the spotlight as it's Wofford and Davidson tonight. Great opportunity for the SoCon to get some showtime.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, the big opportunity last year was Wofford, who won the Southern Conference, both the regular season and the tournament, went to the NCAAs, lost at Harding Stadium out at Santa Barbara, just 1-0 last year. But now this is a big one for the conference. Preseason in the coaches poll, they were 4-5, means a lot this year because all 8 teams go to the conference this year, but the top 4 host the first round.
Davidson is led by Alex Caskey. He's one of the better players in the country.
Yeah, Alex Caskey, how he goes, Davidson goes, and that's certainly what Wofford is going to have to be able to do is really focus on him, not allow him to buzz all around the field. He makes his teammates look better. They really need to focus on him.
All right, Keith, we have a third member for this one, and it's only fitting. We welcome in our sideline reporter. We talked about Wofford's run last year. In 1992, Davidson made a run to remember. You were the coach at Davidson, also brave enough to host what was then the College Cup, or I mean, they at least call it that now. What a great run in 92.
It was great, and we had never been there before. We won our first game in penalty kicks, won our second game in penalty kicks, won our third game in 3 overtimes, and lost the semifinal in double overtime. We played more minutes than Virginia, and they played one more game.
Come on, Charlie, be serious, though. When you decided you were going to host it, did you really think you were also going to be on the bench?
I had no idea. I had no idea. We actually hosted a clinic the next morning, and all my players had to be there. We finished the game at about 9:30. At 9 a.m., we were out there doing the Yes Clinic.
And the man who led your team was Matt Spear, and he's replaced you as the head coach at Davidson.
Right, he was the glue of the team. Rob Ukrop scored all the goals. Alex Deegan made the saves. Matt made sure that anybody who made a run forward, we scored 90 goals that year in 27 games. So everybody went forward. He covered for everybody when they were erroneous in their runs.
All right, let's take a look now at the NSCAA, HendryCars.com, top 25. And Keith Tabatsink, Akron stays at number 1 after the Buckeyes tied them 2-2.
Yeah, they stayed at number 1, and it's Connecticut who was at number 2, but midweek lost to Maryland at Maryland, 1-0. Look at Louisville, still hasn't lost yet, 7-0-2. They're at number 3. Talked about Maryland, looking for them to move up again. SMU, Tim McClement's doing it there, a 3-1 win over South Carolina midweek. They're at 10-1-0. UC Irvine stays up there with a 3-0 win over Davis, and of course rounding out with Monmouth.
All right, when we flip the chart, speaking of 3-1 wins, Creighton with a big 3-1 win over Tulsa.
Huge 3-1 win over Tulsa. Tulsa number 2 in the country a couple weeks ago. Creighton now sits at 8-1-0. And then Coach Kelly Finley with Butler. Only team that unbeaten at all, no ties, no losses at 9-0-0. Brown, first win ever for Brown over St. John's. And of course, Ohio State, didn't move up a whole lot, with these wins. A tie against Akron, big win over Michigan State. They only moved up 4 spots. And at the end of it, South Carolina, of course, their loss to SMU puts them at 5-3. And we'll see Duke next week, by the way, backing up Santa Barbara.
Who you like in the Final 5, Keith?
Well, in the Final 5 there. St. John's now, after that loss, they're going to need to have a good run in the Big East Conference. Colgate, Eric Ronning's team, gets into the top 25 this year at 5-1-3. San Diego State, the best start in 5 years, sitting at 7-2-1. James Madison, midweek loss to UNC Wilmington. Probably knocked them out of the top 25, but Tom Martin's team trying to hang in there.
All right, your top 25, of course, is brought to you by HendryCars.com. 80 franchises, 5,000 cars, over 100,000 photos, one website. HendryCars.com, the fastest and easiest way to buy a used vehicle. Take a look now at your NSCAA Men's Player of the Week. Dylan Mayers, the freshman from Louisville, scoring big goals in big matches. He is your Men's Player of the Week from the NSCAA. And on the women's side, Megan Lensick, the senior from Virginia, big-time goals in both her games last week, and she is your women's NSCAA Player of the Week. Big Southern Conference matchup. Your final score tonight was Davidson 3, all in the second half, and Wofford 0. And as we roll to the highlights, Keith Tabatsink, all 3 goals just sneaking in.
Yeah, they just sneaking in just underneath the crossbar. Davidson changing things around in the second half. And this is senior Peter Shelton with a cross. Gets through everybody. And that's Mark Millard at the back post. See it again. Look at him just sitting there in the back, putting it underneath for his 4th goal of the year. After this, we'll see the cross come in. Freshman Alex Gibbons on the corner kick. And it's Alan Page, the junior, sneaking in behind the Wofford defender to head it in just underneath the crossbar, but they weren't done. Watch Davidson keep the ball in. It's Givens putting the ball back in, and here's the ball coming back out. A nice little chip over the goalkeeper. His 5th goal of the season, 2nd of the game. Davidson, a thorough, convincing win in the second half.
And of course, your men's review is brought to you by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. And speaking of the NSCAA, don't forget the 2011 National Soccer Coaches Association of America Convention is in Baltimore, Maryland, January 12th through the 16th, and registration opens October 11th. Sign up now at www.nscaa.com.